All women are different, but they are all women. This video is androcentric from a men's point of view and is presented as opinion, commentary, and debate. Expressing opinions is not violence. These are ideas to challenge, question, and argue in public, because classical liberalism relies on the First Amendment for its dialectic. If you are a feminist, then consider this. If patriarchy truly existed as claimed, feminism could not. And if all men are trash and women are equal to men, then what are we to conclude? Women will die for their children, men will die for their wives and children, and God chose to die for all mankind. Authority rolls up with responsibility. If this framing of facts offends you, click off to a cute cat video. Proceeding further will expose you to gamma bias and criticism directed at ideas, claims, institutions, not at any individual's virtue or dignity. Our method follows the 7 liberal arts: the trivium, grammar, logic, rhetoric, and the quadrivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. If this framework is not for you, feel free to exit now. It's no disgrace. Women are wonderful. God bless America. Men are great. Looks maxing, upgrading your appearance for extra sexual market value. Written by Conrad Riker. Available now, links in description. Men are not service animals. How the red pill frees you from feminine mind games, Marxist lies, and the gynocentric trap that's killing the West. You've been lied to since birth, not by accident, by design. The world told you to be kind, empathetic, selfless. So you smiled when she ignored your texts. You paid for dinner even though you made less. You apologized when she was angry at you for not reading her mind. And still, she left. Not because you failed love, but because you failed the test. The courtship crucible isn't about chemistry. It's a gauntlet of silent trials, each one engineered to expose weakness. And you were never told the rules. You thought generosity was virtue. It's not. In the new matriarchal economy, generosity is currency, and men who spend it blindly are reduced to service animals, neutered emotional ATMs, dispensing validation, money, and silence. Wake up, women test you from day one. Does he offer to pay? Isn't about chivalry, it's a loyalty probe. Can he handle a strong-willed woman? Means, can I dominate him without resistance? And does he apologize when wrong? Is code for can I weaponize guilt to control him? You've been conditioned to pass these tests by surrendering your sovereignty. But every time you do, you shrink. The data doesn't lie. Men are 70% of suicides, 80% of custody losses, and the primary targets of divorce courts, family courts, and HR departments armed with feminist dogma. Meanwhile, 1 in 4 children in the West are born to unmarried women, many of whom abort or discard men at will. The Duluth model treats fathers as presumptive abusers. Schools drug boys into docility with Ritalin. Sweden's gender-neutral preschools ban toy guns and masculinity itself, then wonder why boys can't focus. This isn't progress, it's extermination by psychology. But I didn't wake up until I watched my brother lose his kids over a missed child support payment while his ex, who cheated, kept full custody. He wasn't violent, he wasn't neglectful. He just failed the feminized performance audit. That's when I realized the system isn't broken. It's working exactly as intended, to strip men of agency, identity, and legacy. The red pill isn't rage, it's recognition. You are not defective. You are disarmed, and the only way out is through the citadel of the self, your inner prohairesis, your stoic core. No woman, no court, no ideology gets in without your consent. I rebuilt, you can too. This book is the map, citadel of the self. The world is a mirror, and what stares back is not reality, but the lie we've been sold about ourselves. I noticed it first in a car advertisement, some soft-featured man with dewy skin, wearing a cashmere hoodie, sipping oat milk while gazing soulfully at a lavender field. Not driving, not conquering, just existing as decor. This isn't a man. This is a product placement for femininity, masked as masculinity. The ad wasn't pushing a vehicle, it was pushing conformity, and the intended viewers, women. Because today's media doesn't market to men, it markets men to women. You aren't the buyer, you are the display, and your worth, judged by how quietly you conform, how seamlessly you please, how gracefully you endure. This is cultural Marxism in action, Lucas reification made flesh. Men are no longer actors, but units, economic inputs. Service animals trained to fetch emotional validation like golden retrievers in Gucci loafers. The CDC reports that men now account for 70% of all suicides in the US, a spiritual death toll from a system that strips men of identity and purpose, then mocks them for lacking resilience. You're told to open up, but only to confess weakness. You're encouraged to share feelings, but never anger, ambition, or righteous contempt for the rot-consuming society. The message is clear. Your emotions are only valid when they serve female comfort. Anything else is toxic. A word now used like heretic was in the Middle Ages to silence dissent. Compare that to Sparta. At age 7, boys were ripped from their mothers and thrown into the agoge, a system designed not to soothe but to forge. No participation trophies, no gender-neutral pronouns. Just survival, discipline, and the understanding that softness is death. Today, we lock boys in classrooms, medicate their energy, and punish them for standing too tall. Sweden's preschools now ban gendered play. No cops and robbers, no swords, no traditional roles. They call it progress. I call it genocide of the masculine spirit. You don't raise lions by feeding them lettuce and calling them lambs. I once watched a father arrested at a family court hearing for contempt after he calmly stated, "I want equal time with my children." He wasn't violent. He wasn't abusive. He was assertive, and that is the new crime. Meanwhile, women can walk into a clinic, terminate a pregnancy without informing the father, and face zero legal consequence. Over 60% of abortions in the US are performed on women who are in relationships. Men who wanted that child, who would have raised it, who were erased like a typo. The law doesn't protect fatherhood, it erases it, and you wonder why men are dropping out. When every institution, from schools to courts to HR departments, punishes masculinity and rewards submission, what do you expect? A generation of eunuchs, bowing to the altar of female primacy, praying for scraps of approval. That's the red pill moment. You realize you've been conditioned to seek female validation as proof of your worth. This isn't love, it's gynocentric Stockholm Syndrome. You've been taken hostage by a culture that tells you your value lies in how well you serve, sacrifice, and suffer in silence. But the inner citadel, the stoic proheresis, the unbreachable core of self-determination still stands. No woman, no job, no state can breach it without your consent. You are not a resource to be exploited. You are not a wallet with a pulse. You are a sovereign being, forged in logic, discipline, and the unyielding truth that you owe nothing to a world that despises you for existing as you are, so grow the beard, lift the iron, master the skill, own the home, speak the truth. Let them call you toxic while you build empires in silence. The left fears masculinity not because it's dangerous, but because it's free. And freedom cannot be governed, taxed, or guilted into submission. They want you neutered because a neutered man is a controllable man, a man who fears rejection more than death. But you've seen the carcasses of the compliant. You've read the suicide stats. You've watched fathers vanish like ghosts. And now you choose to be a corpse in a cashmere hoodie, or a living monument to what men once were and can be again. I've watched men break under this nonsense, men who worked hard, saved money, treated women with respect, only to be discarded like used napkins because they didn't play the game right. And the game isn't about fairness or love or partnership. It's a silent war of signals, a series of unspoken trials where women probe for weakness like fencers testing for an opening. You don't win by being nice or equal or sensitive. You win by being unmovable, by making it clear, through action, not words, that your value isn't for negotiation, that your decisions come from sovereignty, not submission. And if that scares them, good. Let it, the courtship crucible. Equality, she said, eyes flashing with righteous fury, means you pay half. It was the third date. I had taken her to a modest Italian place, 30 total. She dropped the equality bomb like it was a moral revelation, not a negotiation tactic. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "Fine, I'll pay half. The other half, you can pay in blowjobs," she gasped. I smiled. She ghosted me that night. Found out later she called me cheap in a group chat with her friends. Let me tell you something, she didn't want equality. She wanted dominance, and when I didn't roll over like a trained poodle, she marked me as defective and moved on. This isn't about money. This is about power. Women don't test men for generosity. They test for spine. They want to see if you'll flinch, and if you do, you're out. I didn't pay because I was cheap. I didn't pay because I was beta. I didn't pay because I was afraid of her feminist tantrum. I didn't pay on that occasion because I was sovereign. My wallet is not a voting booth for her emotional blackmail. You want equality? Then split the rent, split the car payments, split the health insurance, and split the child support when you inevitably dump me for a richer guy. But no, that never happens. You only want equality when it costs me money and humiliates me. Otherwise, it's traditional values and men should provide. It's a con, a scam. And 68% of women admit they're stress testing men on early dates. 68% Hinge 2021. They're not looking for a partner. They're running diagnostics on your psychological firmware to see if you're beta-coded or alpha-riddy. You think I'm overstating it? Try this. The next time a woman openly mocks you, says you're dull, calls you soft, labels you too much, and then stares at your response like a predator. This is the strong-willed woman test. She isn't being genuine. She isn't speaking her truth. She's testing for cracks. She needs to see, can she push you around? Most men break. They say sorry, they withdraw. They plead, I didn't mean to make you angry, and right then they are finished. Not physically, but socially, sexually, spiritually. You don't apologize to a panther for meeting its gaze. You don't apologize to a wolf for standing your ground. And you definitely don't apologize to a woman who just belittled you in public, unless you're okay being her emotional plaything. This is the apology trap. It's a weaponized guilt mechanism designed to extract submission. Women are raised in a gynocentric cult that teaches them they are morally infallible, innocent until proven guilty, unlike men who are guilty until proven innocent. So when conflict arises, the man must apologize even if he did nothing wrong. It's not about resolution, it's about ritual submission. And men who comply are marked as beta providers, useful for money and stability, but unworthy of desire. Desire requires danger, it requires unpredictability. It requires a man who might walk away. And that's why women hypergamy, not because they're evil, not because they're toxic, but because evolution hardwired them to seek higher status mates, even if they're already in a loving relationship. Buss, 1989. It's not a choice, it's an algorithm. And if you're not running a better algorithm, you're getting diselected. Let's talk about the numbers, real numbers. The average man in the West is more likely to be arrested for saying the wrong thing online than a woman is for lying in family court. Men make up 93% of suicide victims. 70% of child custody cases award primary custody to mothers, even when fathers are equally fit. The divorce rate, 50%. The cuckoldry rate, 1 in 10 births, conservatively, Bellis 2005, and that's just the detected ones. And yet, we're told men are privileged. We're told men are oppressors. We're told to check our privilege while our sons are medicated for being boys. Our fathers are stripped of rights. And our culture is being rewritten by feminist ideologues who hate masculinity. This isn't equality, this is war, and most men don't even know they're losing. You want to win? Then stop playing their game. Stop believing their lies. Stop thinking that being nice will earn you love. Love is not earned by compliance. Love is earned by value. And value isn't measured in how many dinners you pay for. It's measured in how unreplaceable you are. A man who leads, who sets boundaries, who laughs in the face of emotional manipulation, that man radiates sexual market value, not because he's rich, not because he's handsome, but because he is free. And freedom is the most attractive trait a man can have. Women don't want a servant. They want a king, but not a king who grovels, a king who rules. So next time she demands equality, smile and say, sure. Let's split everything, starting with your last 3 boyfriends' child support. Watch her face, then walk away. Not because you're angry, but because you're awake. And the moment you stop seeking her approval, you become dangerous. And danger is the only thing that makes you desirable. I learned this the hard way, sitting in a courtroom, watching my brother lose access to his kids, not because he was violent, not because he was absent, but because he didn't cry on command. That moment snapped something in me. I realized we weren't dealing with justice or fairness or even law. This was ritualized subjugation, a system designed to break men by branding their strength as pathology. And it's not just courts. It's schools drugging boys into docility, media painting masculinity as a disease, and women, many of them well-meaning, others ruthlessly strategic, playing along because the system rewards them for doing so. We're not just losing custody battles, we're losing our identity, one feminized performance review at a time. The matriarchal matrix. Men are not born with a desire to be emotionally castrated by a culture that worships the uterus as a divine oracle. That line from an obscure 1974 Schopenhauerian pamphlet I found in a Budapest flea market is more true today than ever. Walk into any family court and you'll see it. A father, shoulders hunched, eyes hollow, standing before a female judge who hasn't seen his children in months because he lacked nurturing affect. Meanwhile, the mother who cheated, lied, and weaponized the kids now lives tax-free on his income, shielded by a legal system that treats men like debt slaves and women like sacred victims. The Duluth model, the official framework used in domestic violence courts across the US, Canada, and the EU, starts from the assumption that men are always the abusers, women always the abused. No evidence needed. No presumption of innocence, just the dogma of gynocentric supremacy dressed up as feminist justice. And yet, CDC data shows mutual violence in relationships is the norm, not one-sided male brutality. But try telling that to a family court judge trained in Duluth dogma. You'll be medicated, marginalized, or imprisoned before you finish your sentence. Let's talk numbers, because facts are the acid that melts leftist illusions. 80% of custody cases award primary custody to mothers, regardless of the father's involvement, income, or moral character. Pew Research 2023. That's not justice. That's institutionalized maternal privilege. It's not based on child welfare. It's based on the unspoken belief that only women can mother, as if fatherhood were a secondary role, like a backup generator. But biology disagrees. Testosterone drives protection. Male spatial reasoning builds structures. Male risk tolerance launches civilizations. Yet we're told that to be a good dad, we must perform femininity. Be soft, verbal, emotionally transparent, and endlessly accommodating. I once met a man whose ex-wife denied him visitation because he didn't cry enough in therapy. He was a Navy SEAL. He didn't cry when his buddy died in Fallujah, but now he had to weep on command or be deemed unfit? That's not parenting. That's psychological sadism disguised as progress. Feminism was never about equality. Anyone who believes that is still trapped in the blue pill dream. The movement's founders said so outright. Shulamith Firestone in The Dialectic of Sex, 1970, called for the abolition of the family, the end of natural reproduction, and the creation of artificial wombs so women could finally escape the tyranny of biology. Kate Millett preached the overthrow of masculinity. These weren't calls for balance, they were revolutionary manifestos, and today's institutions are their living legacy. Schools now diagnose boys with ADHD at 4 times the rate of girls, not because boys are broken, but because sitting still, obeying female teachers, and suppressing energy is treated as the moral baseline. Ritalin isn't medicine, it's social control. We drug boys into docility, so they don't challenge the matriarchal classroom hierarchy. If a boy runs, he's hyperactive. If a girl runs, she's full of spirit. That's not science, that's gynocentric bias baked into the system. And the media, a propaganda arm of the matriarchy. Watch any sitcom. The dad is a bumbling idiot, the mom a wise, patient saint. From The Simpsons to Modern Family, the father is either absent, incompetent, or in need of fixing by the superior female. This isn't entertainment, it's conditioning. It shapes how girls see men as expendable and how boys see themselves as flawed. Meanwhile, abortion rates remain sky high, over 1 million per year in the US, while men are legally barred from any say in the decision despite being biologically equal parents. You can be forced to pay child support for a kid you never wanted, but if you try to stop an abortion, you're called a rapist. This isn't equality. This is asymmetrical power, feminism's true endgame. The entire system, the courts, schools, media, therapy industry, is the matriarchal matrix. It's not a conspiracy, it's a pattern. Like the Gnostic demiurge, it creates a false reality where male virtues, stoicism, ambition, strength are labeled toxic, while female traits, emotionality, passivity, dependency are elevated as nurturing. But this matrix is breakable. How? Truth. Recognize that women are not angels. They are hypergamous, status-seeking, biologically driven creatures just like men. Studies show women initiate 70% of divorces. Anonymous surveys reveal 1 in 5 women admit to infidelity. Real cuckoldry rates are likely higher, and male suicide. It's 4 times higher than female, not because men are fragile, but because they're denied emotional support while being stripped of purpose, dignity, and access to their children. The remedy isn't rage, it's awakening. Build parallel institutions, men's councils, fatherhood networks, truth-based communities. Stop begging for approval from a system designed to erase you. Be like Odysseus, leave the island of Circe, the witch who turns men into swine. Return to your true nature, lead, build, protect. The matrix collapses the moment enough men stop believing in it. I used to believe the system would reward hard work, honesty, and loyalty. I was wrong. The system is rigged by a gynocentric priesthood that worships female fragility and pathologizes male strength. I walked away from the corporate plantation not because I failed, but because I saw the lie, the diversity seminars, the HR thought police, the silent war on masculinity. I picked up a wrench, built a trade, earned real money, married a woman who respects strength instead of demanding weakness, and now I wake up every day with purpose. My children know their father, my back is strong. My conscience is clear, and for the first time in my life I am free, not from responsibility, but into it. That's when I realized the masculine mandate isn't optional. It's the only life worth living, the reawakening. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Nietzsche. I left my position at a major corporation after they demanded I sign a diversity, equity, and inclusion agreement stating that traditional masculinity is a form of systemic oppression. Picture that. A mature man, well paid and accomplished, expected to bow to HR ideology and declare his natural identity a social sin. I didn't storm out, I walked away chuckling. As I stepped outside into the open air, it hit me. The whole progressive framework rests on shifting ground, and every man who stands firm becomes a force that can't be stopped. Within 6 months, I launched a contracting business. No DEI, no sensitivity training, just steel, sweat, and deadlines. I hired men who showed up on time, didn't cry when criticized, and could operate a nail gun without filing a harassment claim. I married a woman who cooks, respects me, and doesn't demand emotional labor like some entitled Marxist bureaucrat. We have 3 kids. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, cold shower, deadlifts, Bible reading, journal. My net worth doubled in 2 years, my happiness incalculable, and not one single woman, feminist or HR thug had anything to do with it. You don't need their permission to win. You never did. They're tearing down Churchill's statues now. Next will be Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, the entire pantheon of white male achievement scrubbed from history because they didn't spend their lives apologizing for being competent, decisive, and victorious. A civilization that erases its founders is a civilization that has declared war on its own soul. You know what they're building instead? A bronze statue of a menstruating vulva in Portland. That's your future if you stay asleep. A world where men are pathologized and women are deified, not for virtue, but for biology. A world where strength is toxic and weakness is virtue. Where the father is taxed into oblivion, arrested for unpaid child support he can't afford because the family court awarded 80% of his income to an ex who cheated on him with her yoga instructor, while she gets full custody and he gets 2 weekends a month with his kids, if he's lucky. Let's talk numbers, since facts are the kryptonite of lies. The divorce rate in the US. is around 40 to 50%, but for men who earn more than their wives, it's 90%. You heard that right? 90%. Why? Because modern women don't want providers. They want beta orbiters they can dominate, discard, and replace. The average sperm donor is used 12 times before being retired. Women don't want commitment. They want genetic variety and financial extraction. And the courts back them. In 70% of custody cases, mothers get primary custody. Men pay 97% of child support collected. Meanwhile, female suicide rates are lower than men's, despite all the mental health crises they scream about on Instagram. Men are 3.5 times more likely to die by suicide. But try getting sympathy for that. The media calls it toxic masculinity. I call it mass abandonment by a society that worships women and demonizes men. I don't hate women. I respect them when they earn it. But nature doesn't care about your feelings. Women are hypergamous. They look up the social ladder for mates, not across. That's not opinion, that's biology. A Harvard study found that 80% of women would rather date a man richer than them than one poorer. And why wouldn't they? Evolution rewards those who secure better genes and resources. But here's the truth they don't teach in school. Men are expendable. In war, we fight. In work, we die early from stress. In divorce, we lose everything, and the state encourages it. Family court is a kangaroo tribunal where men are presumed guilty of parental alienation if they dare question maternal authority. Cuckoldry. Studies show 10 to 30% of children are not fathered by the man who thinks he's the dad. But don't mention that in mixed company, suddenly you're misogynist for valuing paternity. The solution isn't anger, it's clarity. Schopenhauer said the world is will and representation. You are will, act. Molyneux proved that truth exists and can be known. Peterson told you to clean your room and bear responsibility. These aren't suggestions, they're commandments. The masculine mandate is simple. Lead, provide, protect. Not because society rewards it, because it's right. Fatherhood isn't a lifestyle choice, it's a sacred duty. The Parthenon wasn't built by consensus. It was built by men who understood beauty, proportion, and permanence. They didn't ask permission. They didn't run focus groups. They created something eternal. You want freedom? Stop consuming porn. Stop whining on Reddit. Stop letting women dictate your self-worth. Lift weights. Build something real. Own property. Master a trade. Marry a woman who respects your authority, not one who treats you like a wallet with a pulse. Discipline your body. Discipline your mind. Discipline your speech. The future belongs to men who wake up, armor up, and rebuild. The West wasn't saved by women. It was built by men, and it will be reborn by men, not committees, not feelings, not equity. Men, you are not broken, you were betrayed. Betrayed by schools that medicated your curiosity, by courts that treated your fatherhood as disposable, by a culture that calls your strength toxic while worshiping female rage as empowerment. You sat through sermons on male privilege while 70% of suicides were men. Men like you, worn down by a system that demands loyalty but offers no belonging. You were told to adapt, to listen more, to apologize even if you're not sure why, and meanwhile women abort 50 million children in the US alone since Roe v. Wade, discard fathers like expired coupons, and still demand you pay for dinner as a loyalty test. Let's be clear, this isn't equality, it's tribute. I once believed the lie too, that if I worked hard, stayed kind, and kept my temper, I'd be valued. Then I watched a friend lose his kids because he wasn't nurturing enough, as if fatherhood were a daycare job interview. He served in the military, built his business, paid taxes, none of it mattered. The court wanted him to cry on command, to perform femininity like a trained SEAL. He didn't, he lost everything. The system didn't fail. It worked exactly as designed to break men, extract value, and discard them. The same system that gives tenure to professors who claim math is racist and then wonder why boys are disengaging. But here's the good news. You now see the wires. You know the tests. Does he pay? Does he submit? Does he apologize on cue? They're not about love. They're about control. You know reification when you see it. Turning men into service animals, stripping your soul and calling it progress. You've felt the matrix, the gynocentric guilt, the performative empathy, The way a woman can insult you in public and expect you to smile and say sorry. You've seen the data. 80% custody loss, 68% of women testing men for weakness. 1 in 4 men cuckolded without knowing. And yet you're still here. That means something. This is not the end. It's your beginning. You've reclaimed your citadel. You don't need permission to lead, to build, to father. The Parthenon wasn't built by consensus. Newton didn't run his laws by a focus group. The West was forged in fire, not in therapy circles. So go, start the business, lift the weight, speak the truth even when it pisses people off. Marry a woman who respects your spine, not one who wants to dissolve it. Raise sons who know their worth, isn't tied to female approval. You are not a resource to be exploited. You are the foundation, and foundations don't ask permission, they bear weight. And now the sponsored book introduction looks maxing, upgrading your appearance for extra sexual market value. Look around. Society tells you to be nice, apologize for existing, and surrender your power. I did that. I lost money, respect, and years chasing approval that never came. Then I woke up. This book is that wake-up call slammed on your front door. If you're tired of losing, of feeling like a second-class citizen in your own life, this is for you. If you believe men should lead, build, and protect, not beg and simper, keep reading. For decades, I bought the lie. I played the nice guy, followed the feminist script, and ended up broke and bitter. Marriage nearly destroyed me financially. Dating felt like navigating a minefield designed to make me fail. I saw weak men celebrated and strong men vilified. Enough. I studied biology, psychology, economics, and history. The truth isn't pretty, but it's powerful. It freed me. It can free you. This book delivers the unfiltered reality about what women truly respond to biologically, the biology of attraction, how to avoid becoming a wallet on legs, escaping the marriage trap, and why modern culture actively hates masculine strength, masculinity under siege. You'll get the exact looks-maxing blueprint to upgrade your appearance into a weapon. Learn how wealth as armor protects your freedom and discover the power of true brotherhood fortresses. It's not theory. It's battle-tested strategy. Learn dating warfare tactics to stop being manipulated. Build unshakable mental fortress construction. Understand female psychology decoded so you're never blindsided by hypergamy again. Master status signaling and frame control dominance to command respect. Navigate the brutal sexual market economics. Enforce anti-simp protocol. This is about reclaiming your birthright as a man, strength, sovereignty, and success. It's about becoming the sovereign man. This book is only for rational men ready to face uncomfortable biological truths and reject the gynocentric narrative poisoning society. If you're content being a supplicant, if terms like toxic masculinity make you nod, or if you think vulnerability is a man's strength, put this book down now, go read poetry, knit a sweater. This isn't for the faint-hearted or the virtue-signaling allies of the current regime. It's for men who want to win, dominate, or beg. The choice is yours. Make it. Buy this book. Your future self demands it. Looks maxing. Upgrading your appearance for extra sexual market value. Written by Conrad Riker. Buy now. Links in description.